this cutback right here. I mean, there's Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. Spins on contact constantly. Picks up big yards after contacts.
The Pittsburgh Steelers have their human wrecking ball and beast of a running back in Jaylen Warren, and they need to feature him even more in the running game and just in general on offense. But this video is going to be a little bit of a quick breakdown of Jaylen Warren versus the Cleveland Browns and how he was able to get going. Baldy NFL, Brian Baldwinger did this quick breakdown, and I'm going to be reacting to it and giving my thoughts, analysis, and criticism after.
Well, Pittsburgh's offense is stuck in the mud except for Jaylen Warren. I mean, just pitch it to him. Remember when he did this? Break the tackle right there, Greg Newsome. He did this in preseason. Went 75 yards to pay dirt, and people said, it's just preseason. All right, well, it's not just preseason. This guy, this cutback right here, I mean, there's Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. Spins on contact constantly. Picks up big yards after contacts. He's averaging almost 9 yards a carry over the last 3 games. Foot in the ground right here. I don't know how he got through the soup. He got through it, though, and then he exploded out. Like, maybe you should play the Wildcat quarterback position. Maybe you should just throw it to him. Like, maybe you should just feature Jaylen Warren if you wanted to score more than 10 or 13 points. And if you need a personal protector, here's your best personal protector maybe in the whole league. Nobody protects like Jaylen Warren. Because when he hits you, he moves you and he stones you. That's the bright spot in Pittsburgh.
Just watching Jaylen Warren run compared to watching other running backs run on the Steelers like Najee Harris or whoever else is in the game, you look at the difference between Jaylen Warren and them is Jaylen Warren wants to run straight forward. He's not this guy who's going to run to the side before he gets forward. If he ends up breaking it to the sideline, it's because there's space after he ran up the middle to begin with, and then it's a cutback. He's not cutting back before he gets to the line of scrimmage like Najee Harris does. He runs straight forward and is able to seek contact or break it free. And that's what he's been doing. Last week against the Browns, he put up 9 carries for 129 yards, which means that is 14.3 yards per carry. And in the NFL, that is fantastic. And he also put up 1 touchdown and to go along with 3 receptions. The week prior, he put up 15 rushes attempts for 101 yards, 6.7 yards per carry, and 1 touchdown, along with 2 receptions. And then the week before that, his breakout game for the season, he put up 11 carries, 88 yards to go along with 3 receptions, which is 8 yards per carry. So really the last 3 weeks is really when the Steelers started getting going on the running game and getting going on offense in terms of the running game. And the reason behind that has been Jaylen Warren breaking out, being featured a lot more in the offense, but he needs to be featured even more in this offense. Having 9 carries this past game against the Browns makes no sense because Najee Harris ended up having more carries than him with way less yards. So you look at Jaylen Warren, he is now the first player to rush for consecutive 100-yard games since James Conner did it back in week 2 and week 3 in the 2020 season. So it's been that long. It's been 3 years since the Steelers had back-to-back games running the ball for over 100 yards by one player. And now Jaylen Warren has done it. When you look at Jaylen Warren, he is averaging 6.4 yards per touch this season. And now he leads the Steelers in total yards from scrimmage this season with 727 yards. He has the most yards from scrimmage by any Steeler. He doesn't even start. He's not even a starter for the Steelers. He didn't start the season with them. Najee Harris was really the starter. He started the season with him, but he didn't start as a running back with them. He comes in usually on 3rd downs to begin the season. Only recently he's been getting kind of more carries after they see that he might be a better option than Najee Harris. But he came in as a 3rd down running back, playing here and there when Najee Harris need a break to begin the season. And to be leading your team in scrimmage yards, to having back-to-back 100-yard rushing games, getting touchdowns, being featured in the receiving game now out of the backfield, having screens thrown to you, kind of swing routes thrown to you, stepping up in the pass blocking game as well. You can see why Najee Harris is a human wrecking ball and a beast of a running back. And you've seen in the breakdown that Baldy NFL did in this video, you see how he's talking about Jaylen Warren. He's able to make himself get so small to run in between the holes and split defenders. You've seen in that one clip where he split those two defenders. How does he even break out of that? How does he take that to the sideline and able to turn that into a long run going in between two tackles? Also, you look at the run where he spun off of JOK. He just has a lot of moves that he could use in his arsenal. He's a good running back who knows how to get straight forward, but he's not just that. He's someone who could break to the house on any given play. He has speed, but he also has a shiftiness to break out of runs. But not only does he have shiftiness, he also has the power to stiff arm people. You've seen the stiff arm on the sideline against the Browns defender where he threw him to the ground. On the thumbnail of this video, you see him stiff arm guys, you see him juke guys, you see him spin off of guys, and you see him take it to the house. So you could do basically anything at the running back position, and not to mention, he could also catch the ball and pass block. He could basically do it all as a running back. And he's been really good this season, and the Steelers need to feature him more in this offense. But they just haven't. They've been still kind of splitting carries or even giving Najee Harris a more split than Jaylen Warren, even though Jaylen Warren has been more successful. Mike Tomlin talked about Jaylen Warren just getting 9 carries in this past game, and he had a very bad answer that wasn't promising. This is what he had to say. I don't. When you're unsuccessful, you can look back and make a lot of type judgment calls. Man, we just don't live like that. We don't live in our fears. We don't second guess, man. We live, and also I stand by whatever decision or play sections or ball distributions we had today. Basically, that's what he had to say. Basically, what he's saying is, even though Jaylen Warren has been good, basically, we don't live in our fears that we should have took Najee Harris out of the game quicker. And even in the last drive, Najee Harris is in the game instead of Jaylen Warren, even though throughout the day, Jaylen Warren has been more successful. That answer was just not a good answer. And I don't understand it, because Jaylen Warren has been the better running back. And even if Najee Harris is a starter, I'm not questioning starting Jaylen Warren over Najee Harris, because I still believe Najee Harris is kind of more like, I guess, a workload type of back, and you might not see as much explosive plays if Jaylen Warren is a starter, kind of like Tony Pollard and Ezekiel Elliott last season compared to just Tony Pollard this season. I'm not questioning that. I'm questioning the biggest moments in the game when you need your running back in the game. Why isn't Jaylen Warren in the game instead? That's what I'm questioning. I'm not questioning the starter, because that's a whole different topic. But Jaylen Warren, Mike Tomlin's answer doesn't look promising for him in terms of that, but let's see if he ends up getting more carries this week against the Cincinnati Bengals. Even Bryant McFadden, former Pittsburgh Steeler, was talking about Jaylen Warren compared to Najee Harris, and he said Jaylen Warren was hot. There's no reason for him not to see 15 to 16 carries when he had 9 carries over 120 yards. There's no reason for that. He was playing against one of the most respectable defenses in the NFL, and he was gunning them, stiff-arming players left and right. They didn't want to tackle him. He was our best runner, and out of respect for both players, that's our written rule. Whoever is hot will be in there, and you come out when you are tired. That's how I thought it should have been today, but for whatever reason, they would kind of went back to the rotation, and Najee Harris seen more of a workload. I think they can coexist in the same backfield, sharing reps. We will need you, but you guys determine how much you play. Simple as that. If you're hot, we're going to keep riding with you until you tell us you need a breath. If the other guy's hot, the same thing. So that's what Bryant McFadden had to say. Basically saying that's how it should go. That's how it does go. That's kind of the Steelers' unwritten rule. But that's just not how it went in this past game. So with that being said, that's the end of this video. But let me know down in the comments below, how do you feel this topic? How do you feel about Jaylen Warren and this film breakdown and him being able to do it all as a running back? And also, how do you feel about him getting less touches, less carries, and less playing time than Najee Harris, even though he was more successful against the Browns? Do you believe he'll end up seeing more playing time this week, or do you still believe Najee Harris is the guy? Let me know down in the comments below. And also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel down below as well if you like serious content and analysis reports. Like the video, turn on post notifications down below for this channel as well, so you get notified whenever I post next year's video. I cover everything Pittsburgh Steelers, news, rumors, highlights, reports, analysis, breakdowns. And to stay up to date with everything, turn on notifications, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys all later. Till next time, I'm out. Peace.